Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And today, we're going to unlock a really fun and useful topic for your English conversations, talking about your last holiday. Whether you went somewhere exotic, stayed at home, or had a little adventure nearby, sharing your travel stories is a fantastic way to practice your English. And that's exactly what we'll do today. We're going to cover essential vocabulary for travel and holidays, the most important grammar point, the simple past tense, and don't worry, it's easier than you think, and finally, a long natural sample dialogue to show you how it all comes together. So, grab a notebook, maybe a cup of tea, and let's get started.
All right, first up, let's stock your vocabulary toolkit. These are words and phrases you'll hear and use all the time when talking about holidays. I'll say the word, give you a quick example, and you can repeat it after me to practice your pronunciation. Ready? The first one are some verbs that things you did, like travel. For example, last year I traveled to France. Explore. For example, I loved exploring the local markets. Sunbathe. For example, my friends sunbathe by the pool every day. Hike. For example, we hiked in the mountains for 3 hours. Go sightseeing. For example, every morning we went sightseeing. Experience. For example, it was an amazing experience. And some nouns about people, places, and things as below. Destination. For example, my dream destination is Iceland. Accommodation. For example, finding good accommodation can be tricky. Resort. For example, we stayed at a luxury resort. Souvenir. For example, I bought a small magnet as a souvenir. Local cuisine. For example, the local cuisine was incredible. Scenery. For example, the mountain scenery was breathtaking. Guidebook. For example, I always read a guidebook before I travel. Here are some useful expressions. Have a good time. It is a simple, very common, and versatile English phrase used to wish someone enjoyment or pleasure in an activity or event they are about to participate in. For example, we had a good time in London. Make memories. It means to actively engage in experiences that are significant, enjoyable, or meaningful enough to be remembered in the future. For example, we made so many great memories together. Get away from it all. It is a very common idiomatic expression used to describe the act of taking a break from one's normal, often stressful or monotonous routine and environment. Often associated with travel, vacations, or retreats to remote or peaceful locations such as mountains, beach, quiet countryside. For example, I just needed to get away from it all for a week. Soak up the sun. It is a common idiom used to describe the act of enjoying the warmth and light of the sun, typically while relaxing outdoors. For example, I loved just soaking up the sun by the pool. And try new things. It means to participate in activities, hobbies, foods, or situations that one has never encountered or done before. For example, it's fun to try new things when you travel. All right, with that vocabulary in mind, let's tackle the grammar. To talk about past holidays, you absolutely need the simple past tense. It's for actions that started and finished in the past. And we have to use verbs in the past form. And the first form of the verb in the past is regular verbs. These are easy. Just add ed to the end of the verb. For example, walk, walked. Play, played. Visit, visited. Relax, relaxed. Enjoy, enjoyed. So, I visited Rome. We relaxed by the beach. Easy, right? These are the trickier ones. They don't follow the ED rule. You just have to learn them. But don't worry, there are common ones you'll use all the time for holidays. Let's look at a few essential ones. Go, went, such as
I went to Spain. See, saw. For example, we saw the pyramids. Have, had. For example, they had a great time. Eat, ate. For example, I ate delicious tacos. Drink, drink. For example, she drank fresh coconut water. Buy, bought. For example, I bought some local crafts. Spend, spent. For example, I spent 2 weeks there. Take, took. For example, we took many pictures. Feel, felt. For example, I felt very relaxed. Be, was, were. For example, it was amazing. They were friendly. To say what you didn't do, use did not, didn't, plus the base form of the verb. For example, I didn't visit the museum, or she didn't like the spicy food. To ask about past events, use did plus subject plus base form of the verb. Did you go to the beach? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Did she enjoy her holiday? Yes, she did. No, she didn't. Or we use WH question, like, where did you stay? Practice these and you'll be a pro in no time. The key is using them over and over. Now, let's put it all together. Here's a longer, more detailed conversation between two friends, Sarah and Mark, talking about Mark's last holiday. Listen carefully for the vocabulary and the simple past tense. I'll highlight some key parts afterwards. Ready? Let's listen.
Hi, Mark. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you since you got back. How was your holiday? Where did you end up going?
Hey, Sarah. It was absolutely incredible. Thank you. We went to Croatia, to a small island called Hvar. Have you ever been there?
Hvar? Oh, wow. I've only seen pictures, but it looks stunning. I'm so jealous. How long did you stay for?
We stayed for 10 days. It was the perfect amount of time. Not too short, not too long, just enough to truly get away from it all.
Amazing. And what kind of things did you do there? I imagine a lot of sunbathing?
A lot of that, yes. We relaxed on the incredibly picturesque beaches every morning and swam in the bluest water I've ever seen. In the afternoons, we often explored the old town with its charming cobbled streets and ancient fortresses. We even hiked up to the Spagnola fortress one evening to watch the sunset. The views were breathtaking.
Oh, that sounds so romantic. Did you take lots of photos?
Of course, my phone is full of them. I also took a boat trip to some nearby islands like the Paklini Islands. We found some secluded coves and snorkeled there. It was an amazing adventure.
Wow, you really packed a lot in. And the food? I hear Croatian cuisine is delicious, especially the seafood. Did you try any local specialties?
Oh, the food was divine. We ate fresh grilled fish almost every day and lots of delicious local vegetables. We also tried peka, which is a traditional dish cooked under a bell-shaped lid. It was so tender and full of flavor. And of course, plenty of local wine.
You're making me so hungry and wanting to book a flight right now. It sounds like you really had a memorable experience. Did you buy any souvenirs?
Just a few little things. Some lavender products. Hvar is famous for its lavender. And a small handmade bracelet for my sister. I didn't want to spend too much time shopping. I just wanted to soak up the atmosphere.
I completely understand. So overall, how did you feel after the trip? Refreshed?
Absolutely. I felt completely refreshed, recharged, and totally relaxed. It was truly an unforgettable trip. I'd recommend it to anyone. It's one of the best holidays I've ever had.
That's fantastic, Mark. I'm so glad you had such a wonderful time. You've definitely convinced me to add Hvar to my travel list.
All right, fantastic.
I hope you caught all those simple past verbs and new vocabulary. Notice how they naturally flow in the conversation. Here are a few key takeaways from that dialogue. They used lots of irregular verbs: went, was, stayed, did, saw, took, found, ate, tried, bought, had, felt. They described feelings and experiences using adjectives: incredible, picturesque, breathtaking, amazing, divine, memorable, unforgettable, refreshed, recharged, relaxed. They asked open-ended questions like, "What did you do?" to encourage more detail, not just yes or no answers.
Your turn now. To practice, I want you to think about your last holiday. Where did you go? How long did you stay? What did you do there? What did you eat or drink? And how did you feel about it? Try to use at least 5 new words from our vocabulary list, and make sure you're using the simple past tense correctly. Write a short paragraph in the comments below describing your last holiday. I'll be reading them and giving feedback. It's a great way to practice immediately. And that's it for today's lesson on talking about your last holiday. I hope you found it useful and feel more confident sharing your past experiences. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more English lessons, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.